Hello and welcome to Northy Hobbies. So it's been about a year since I started back into the hobby, and I just wanted to do sort of a progress update and show you some of the stuff I've been working on recently. So when I say it's been about a year since I've been back in the hobby, one of the things that got me back into it was Jazza from Tabletop Time, when he talked about his childhood growing up with the hobby, and it really made me feel nostalgic and want to get back into it. So I thought, as a fun project, I'd make one of Jazz's minis using his face and the Jazzy Strikers Puppets War box that he put out, and paint it in the style of his custom Space Bears chapter. This was a fun little project for me. I'm not the best at painting black armor, but I gave it a good go, and this is my first time doing the snow. I'm really happy with how the snow turned out. The snow ended up being pretty simple. I started with this vallejo ground texture. The ground texture is quite bright, and I wanted to dull the scene down a little bit because I wanted to do some object source lighting. So I came up with an idea to use apothecary white, and I think that actually turned out really well. The snow looks good, and also the apothecary white looks really good over the black armor as sort of frost or just some ambient melted snow. So I was quite happy with how that turned out. I also haven't done a lot of kitbashing before, so it was fun to have a little bit of a play around with that. I need to get better at doing my sculpting, but it was still a fun practice. Now, if you've been following the channel, you'd know that I've been working on a Stormcast Eternals army. I'm up to the point of doing some of the larger models now, such as yndrasta. I really loved doing this one and how it turned out. The wings looked like a bit of work, but they were actually fairly simple. I started with airbrushing the red, then went over airbrushing the yellow to create a gradient, and then I dry brushed with just some Screaming Skull, and that was all it really needed. The Screaming Skull really brought out the feathers and tied it all together. This was also my first time using this AK Interactive Puddles acrylic diorama. I know it's fairly popular to use resin for this sort of stuff, but I wanted to try something more acrylic based and see how that went, and I was pretty happy with the results. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, I did a video on painting this chariot. There's a painting guide on the channel if you would like to check that out. It was also a really fun model to do, and I'm pretty happy with these results. Okay, so what's next? Well, I still have a few Stormcasts to finish, so I really want to get that done and tied off. After that, if you've been watching the channel, you may remember this guy, my Gul'dan kitbash. I was going to follow that up because that's been one of my most popular videos by doing the rest of the orruks in a World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor type theme. Then Blizzard kind of got themselves in the news for the wrong reason, so I put that on hold. At some point though, I do want to start with these orruk brutes. I think they'll look really good in that Warlords of Draenor type theme. Probably try and do Black Hand and a few of those guys. I'm also hoping to pre-order the Black Templar set. I got a few ideas to put my own spin on that army, so I think that could be interesting. You may also remember a while ago I did some painting of this neon set, and I think I even mentioned in that video I wasn't overly happy with how some of those colours reacted to the black light or UV light, so I wanted to try and find a better light to do that with. For reference, this is what I was using. It's a LED based UV light. It's sort of like a floodlight really. It's very bright, even though you don't see a lot of that light. And after quite a fair bit of research, I landed on trying this here, which is a tube light. So I actually put a fair bit of research into that, and I was going to do a full video on the subject. But when I did some testing, the results actually were fairly similar between the two, so it was kind of a waste of time. I do still prefer the look of the tube light to the LEDs, so that's probably what I'll use from now on, but it didn't bring out the fluorescent colours more as I had hoped it would. Just one last thing, Hobby Life will receive a update sometime in the near future for iOS 15, but also with some UI improvements and some additional options. I'm working on some other features as well, but I'm not sure if that'll be ready in time for release, so keep an eye out for that. It should be out somewhere in the next few weeks. Okay, so just a side note, I want to thank everyone who's supported the channel so far. We've got over 1,200 subscribers now, which is absolutely fantastic considering this channel's only a few months old. I'm still pushing towards being able to actually monetize the channel, because obviously then I can do a lot more with it. So if you've enjoyed my projects and are excited about what's to come or have any ideas, please drop them in the comments and like and subscribe. It really helps me out and helps other people find this channel as well. Okay, well thanks for watching, new video shortly.